Hello everyone and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. Thank you all so much for being here and your continued love and support here on the channel. So today's pick a card reading, we are doing what energy is opening up for you now. Okay, and after we find out what that is, we're going to ask Spirit, how can you best work with whatever it might be? Okay, whether positive or negative. So again, what energy is opening up for you now? We do have 3 crystals for you to choose from. For group 1, we have a tiger tail Jasper. For group 2, we have a Snowflake Obsidian. And then for group 3, we have Opalite. Okay, if you already feel drawn to a specific crystal, you can skip right to the timestamp. It'll take you directly to your reading. But I am going to be adding in one of these cards to help you with choosing. So what energy is opening up for you now? Group 1 with the tiger tail Jasper. What energy is opening up for you now? Group number 1. Group 2 with the Snowflake Obsidian. What energy is opening up for you now? And group 3 with the Opalite. What energy is opening up for you now? All right, let's see what we've got. So group 1. We've got card number 15, Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation. Okay, and that is with the tiger tail Jasper. Group number 2, we have number 30, Horseman with the Herald of Change. And that is with the Snowflake Obsidian. Group number 3, we have number 8, Crown Games. It says right use of power. And that is with the Opalite. Okay, so those are the choices for today. What energy is opening up for you now? And like I said, we're going to ask Spirit, how can you, best work with whatever it might be to your advantage? Group number 1, the Dust Devil with Tiger Tail Jasper. Group 2, the Horseman with Snowflake Obsidian. And then group number 3, we have Crown Games with the Opalite. Timestamps will be down below, and I will see you all at your reading. Hi group 1, so those of you that resonated with the Dust Devil and the Tiger Tail Jasper, this is going to be your reading today. So we're finding out what energy is opening up for you now, and you have moving out of stagnation, which is a good thing. So let's pull some tarot here. Moving out of stagnation. Actually, I feel like we should use the oracle first. What energy is opening up for you now? Group number 1. We have expect the unexpected. Life takes some twists and turns, so hold on for the ride. The results may surprise you. We have keen insights. With wisdom and patience, you uncover the hidden truth. The Book of Shadows. You are empowered by shining a light on the darkness. And we have Web of Life. Your fate is intricately entwined with others, so step mindfully as you go along. We have Masked Intent. Someone has ulterior motives that they are concealing. And then we have Strange Land. You are discovering things you haven't experienced before. New knowledge feeds success. Maybe some of you are going to be moving even. Whether it's a physical move or it's some type of maybe change that you're making in your life. Okay, so let's pull the tarot. What energy is opening up for you now? Two of Wands in reverse. Judgment. Yeah, so we're kind of moving out of a place. This could have even looked like some kind of a plan here, a choice. But this Two of Wands is going to be indecision. To Judgment, which is going to be about making the decision. Could be a big one. Could also be about releasing or letting something go. We've got the Hermit. Nine of Wands in reverse. Judgment can also be about release. Release, which is a good thing. And I feel like what you're releasing here could not only be indecision, not only the stagnancy, but this Nine of Wands energy is a good thing because it's kind of like it almost feels like an energetic release. Because the Hermit is about taking a pause. You know, so if you were indecisive about something, taking some time to deeply reflect upon before making a decision or moving forward with something. The Lovers is here, which is about making a choice, a major decision. So it kind of looks like we're coming out of that place of Hermit energy, of deep reflection or pausing, indecisiveness, into like, I'm ready, okay? I've got Gemini, Virgo, Scorpio. Some of you, this is something that you've healed. Something that you've healed within inside of yourself that's helped to remove some kind of energetic block. High Priestess. I've got Pisces. I love it. We've got the Magician at the bottom. And the King of Pentacles, the Moon, Queen of Wands. It's like you're trusting your intuition with something, about something, making a decision about something. Some of you, this might have to do with career, like making a big career move, a big career change. You know, you could have been in deep thought about like, okay, what path do I want to take? Five of Pentacles can sometimes be when I feel like we don't have the resources, you know, available to us. You know, we could also be dealing with financial difficulty. Maybe some of you could have been through this cycle here of, you know, having financial strain. And then in comes your intuition with some kind of inspiration, you know, about pursuing something or taking some kind of a business decision or risk or change. And then you actually following your intuition and letting go of that feeling of scarcity mindset, poverty consciousness, unworthiness to what you desire. Some of you, this might even be about relationships, okay? Especially if you were, you know, pursuing someone or them pursuing you, and there may have been a lot of fears and insecurities that could have, on your side or their side, they could have been creating a lot of blockages. Some of you, this is a healing with an abandonment wound or rejection or, you know, self-worth issue. Because with that Nine of Wands, it could certainly be that there's a very wounded and guarded energy. But then again, taking time to reflect about something, taking time to heal, you know, unsure about whether or not we wanted that person to be with that person or to choose that path. It kind of looks like this time that you've taken to think about something has done a lot of good, because it helps you to gain clarity. It helps you to tune into your intuition and to kind of, even in a way, kind of follow your heart, because the Lovers is about a choice, and it's a choice of the heart. What does your heart say? What does your heart want? What does your heart feel? You know, with the Magician here at the bottom, this is more focused, doing things with more intention, with purpose. You know, some of you, this might even be aligning with your purpose, a path that's more aligned with your purpose, because Judgment is also about answering the soul's calling. It could be a wake-up call for some of you to take action, to make a decision, you know, to let go of limiting beliefs and move forward with confidence and to trust your intuition. Okay. So yeah, we've got Scorpio, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. And we have expect the unexpected. Life takes some twists and turns, so hold on for the ride. The results may surprise you. We're going to try to get some information on that, but it might be, you know, perhaps something that we're not meant to know at this time, but we'll take a look. So what is this energy surrounding this expect the unexpected, Spirit? The Emperor. Okay. For some of you, this could be a new person entering your life, okay? Some of you, it could be a spouse, a partner, a relationship. Others of you, it could be that you could be moving into a higher level position, even like with work, career. Some of you, it could be moving into management, upper management, or even those of you that have thought about entrepreneurship, okay? It's masculine energy here, so it could be something that you are, you know, because the Emperor is about building structure and foundation, so it could be like you're building a whole new foundation for yourself. You know, you're moving into an energy of more stability, okay? I want to look at that. Masked intent. Someone has ulterior motives that they are concealing. We want to make sure that's not a bad thing. Tell us more about this masked intent. What is this masked intent about? Five of Wands, Page of Wands. I don't feel like this is going to be for all of you, but some of you might have a person who, of course, the Devil's here. You might have a person who is very immature, okay, to start off with. Very immature, manipulative type of person. The Devil can also be a person who is toxic, okay? So if you have someone like that around you, whether they are a friend, a family member, you want to kind of watch for that. Could even be a coworker, okay? Could be, like, even for those of you where, like, you're leaving, like, a job because you've got not great coworkers, or a boss who's just kind of shady, you know. I want to look at that devil a little bit more. Some of you, this feels like a person who's trying to control you. Okay. That could be manipulation. Like I said, a manipulative person, a person who lies to get what they want, or, you know, could be a person who's jealous, a person who's petty. Like I said, I don't think that this is all of you. But if you're just kind of feeling a certain way about someone, I would say trust your gut. If you feel like someone's lying, someone's not telling the whole truth, or they're instigating things, trying to manipulate you in some way, being more cold or calculated about the way that they say things or do things, this person could be immature, okay? And it could even be, for some of you, trying to mess with your money. I mean, it could even be a boss. Could be like a person who tries to sabotage opportunities for you, or, you know, a person who just wants to create drama. Okay. I want to ask Spirit, how can you... I mean, for one thing, with the King of Swords being here, I feel like if you're feeling an energy coming from this person, call it out. You know? Be assertive. Be in your power. Speak clearly, directly. Assert your own power. Not in a way that's toxic, but in a way that, like, hey, these are my boundaries. How can Group 1 best handle that situation here, Spirit? Page of Swords, communication. Also paying attention, okay? Page of Swords is about studying something, observing. So if you're noticing, you know, a difference in the way that the person speaks to you, what they say, does it align with their actions? Does something not feel right? This is where you're being very observant. Three of Cups. I feel like be careful with who you exchange or who you communicate with, who you share information with. You know, because this almost feels like the Three of Cups could be like a group of people, friends. This could also turn into gossip, you know. So you want to make sure that you are careful with what you say, or like if you're dealing with a person who, like, you tell them something and then they go and tell a bunch of other people, you know, maybe even limit what you say. Or bring it up to this person like, hey, I don't really appreciate that I'm telling you something and then you go and share this information with others. Like, stand your ground with that, I feel like. Okay? Some of you could be coworkers. Others of you, if this is a work environment, yeah, there's the boundaries right there. You know, if they're a friend who's acting like that with you, a coworker, some of you might need to leave a work environment, okay? Just get out of that environment entirely. For others of you, it can be setting a boundary, you know? Or if a line is crossed, after you've said something, mentioned it, and then person does it again, done. Friendship over. Okay. What else here? Knowledge, faith, success. Okay, so let's pull some other oracle here. What else can you add on for group number 1? But we like movement, right? Moving out of stagnation. That's a good thing. Whether it's money, that where money's been slow to come in, or, you know, your love life has been stagnant. You know, things are definitely moving into a much more stable energy here, which is beautiful. What energy is opening up? We've got trust in divine detours and time to let go. So maybe if there's something that hasn't worked out, you know, maybe in the way that you've wanted it to, this can be where you trust that you're on the right path and that Spirit is leading and guiding you, okay, in the right direction. I also have tend to the small things. Horus Spirit, freedom is yours. And embrace the in-between. Yeah, so some of you might be like, you know, starting a new chapter of your life and letting go of something. And then that whole in-between period might be a little uncomfortable. But, you know, I feel like there's beautiful things that await here, especially with the Ten of Pentacles being present. It's such a stable, beautiful energy. Some of you could be moving to a new home, a new location, securing, you know, your money, a new career. Okay. So let's ask Spirit here, how can you best work with this energy? And to me, I'm kind of seeing like flow with it, you know? How can group number 1 best work with this energy? Yeah, be open, Fool. Be open to new experiences, new possibilities. Try new things, do new things. The Fool is kind of like a blank slate. Okay. Be open. 3 of Wands. For some of you, if there's been something that you've been wanting to do, right? This could be focus and taking action towards the things that are going to bring you joy, happiness, fulfillment, contentment. No longer just waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like Knight of Swords is just go, right? Focus on what you want. Some of you, this has to do with career, money, which is beautiful. Strength, and there's the Empress. I love it. Yeah. Being brave, being courageous, overcoming your fears, you know, maybe recognizing and acknowledging what they are and saying, okay, I'm not going to let this hold me back any longer. Here I go. I'm going to do this. Just go for it. Let go. You know, maybe the whole letting go is all letting go of the mindset, letting go of resistance. Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave this here for you, group number 1. I do hope this reading was helpful for you all, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, group 2. So those of you that resonate with the Snowflake Obsidian, card number 30, the Horseman with the Herald of Change. This is going to be your reading today. So we're looking at what energy is opening up for you now, and then we're going to ask Spirit, how can you best work with it, okay, to your advantage. So we do have the Herald of Change here. We'll see what is going on. What energy is opening up for you now? Temptation. We have, you will be tested on where your heart is truly invested. And then we have quiet retreat. You need time alone to restore your energy and health now. And then we have sacred space. Carve out a little niche for your spiritual practice and make your home a retreat. We have power of 3. Gather your closest allies to rise to the coming challenges. And then we have downloads. Look out for messages and signs from spirit. Sit quietly and receive the answers. And then we have strange land. You are discovering things you haven't experienced before. New knowledge feeds success. Okay, so already with like the whole sacred space, the downloads, some of you might be actually the energy that is opening up for you could also be tied into your spiritual gifts. Okay, being more open to spirit, which is a great thing because, you know, when you're connected with your spirit team, I feel like it certainly helps you to feel more confident about moving through life, making decisions. You feel much more clear. And certainly time alone, peaceful, quiet, could be something that really helps you to kind of gain the clarity that you need and to help to kind of calm your energy so that you're able to receive those downloads, right? Not just, all of us, of course, could have very busy lives and can kind of be on autopilot a lot of the time or be distracted by so many different things that are going on that we're not tuned in, And so this could be a time where you're gonna experience changes, these energies that are kind of there for you to access and tap into and connect with that are gonna help to give you what you need, whether that's you tapping into your own inner wisdom, knowledge, especially for those of you that do believe in past lives and, the knowledge of your ancestors, your spirit team has for you. There's a few of the things here that I want to look at, especially this and this, because it says gather your closest allies to rise to the coming challenges, So it could be, ensuring that you do have people around you in your life that are supportive, that care about you, that are there for you. And also with the temptation here, you'll be tested on where your heart is truly invested. Sometimes if we're asking the universe for something, like let's just say it's our dream job, right? And we are, going on interviews and, this is what I want to do. And then all of a sudden this other offer comes in where you would be taking less money. It's not really what you want and you need a job. Are you going to take that? Or is your heart really invested in the thing that you really want? And the same thing could happen, of course, with love, right? If we're asking the universe for, our divine partner, soulmate, whatever label you want to put on it, and then we have a distraction come in that is an old pattern, of your relationship habits from the past, and that creeps in, are you going to take that? Or are you going to hold out for what you desire? So temptation. And maybe that's part of the challenge too, is to have friends around you that when this temptation comes in, your friends are like, no, absolutely not. You're not going to go out with that person. You're not dating them. That's not good for you, to kind of steer you and keep you in the right direction, or at least to give you some advice. Like, look, think about this, don't go back to your ex, stuff like that. I don't know. Let's see. What energy is opening up for you? Group number 2. The Fool. Such a beautiful energy. Aquarius. 5 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. Okay. Some of you, this might be a test in love, I almost feel like. because the Five of Pentacles is showing up, which is about lack. Okay, especially for those of you that have been really working on healing yourself. Like I said, you could have a new connection or connection that comes in that is actually an old pattern. You know, like let's just say you've had issues in your past with abandonment, rejection, being ghosted, and those situations have made you feel unworthy of love, right? Unworthy of what you really desire. People that breadcrumb you, people that are emotionally unavailable, and dealing with that kind of situation. And you're holding out for love that is reciprocal. And in comes a new opportunity of love that tests you and say, okay, here's another Five of Pentacles type of person. Are you going to settle for that? Or are you going to hold out for better? You know, so that's just one way in which that situation could take place. Queen of Swords. So this could also be a need for you to use discernment. Use discernment with what you choose to do. Decisions, important decisions that you make, where you focus your energy, your attention, your passion for something. I'm also feeling there's going to be a need for patience, for discipline, putting in effort, work to doing something. Meaning that you're committing, you're dedicating yourself, whether it's to a job, to improving your finances, to the work that you do within inside of yourself. Okay, so let's look at this Fool here. You know, the Fool can represent a new beginning, a new start. So maybe some of you are going to be taking some kind of leap of faith and making some kind of change after a period of, you know, kind of reflecting upon this change, doing some soul searching. Some of you, this is a work, like leaving a job, pursuing a passion. Okay. Four of Cups. Yeah, because some of you could have been feeling bored, understimulated, unhappy. Okay. Maybe at a job that you feel is like not making you feel fulfilled any longer, not paying you enough, something you feel frustrated with. You could be changing jobs here. Okay, so what is this temptation happening? High Priestess. Okay, so maybe we can't know what it is because it's a test probably. Yeah, you will be tested on where your heart truly is invested, and I'm asking to clarify, and the High Priestess is here. So it's going to be something where you need to use your intuition. High Priestess is about something that is being hidden or concealed. Ace of Pentacles is an opportunity. Nine of Cups, which is about fulfillment, wish fulfillment. So there could be an offer here, an offer that comes towards you, that's presented to you. Could be a tempting offer, but what does your intuition say? Take it or turn it down. Because sometimes, yes, it could bring contentment, satisfaction, but is it really what you want? Your heart. Yeah, look at that, because this is saying you'll be tested on where your heart is truly invested. Is it your wish fulfillment? Is it what you've asked for? Is it what you wanted? Or are you settling? Okay, so I don't know how that's going to be in your life. It could be a person that shows up. It could be a job offer. Tell me about this power of 3. You know, some of you, this change, this energy that's opening up for you is also clarity, focus. Ideas, passions. Maybe you're getting clear about what your passion really is, what you really want to do for work. You know, maybe. Tell me about this power of 3. Page of Pentacles in reverse. 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Wands. 8 of Swords at the bottom with the 10 of Wands. Okay. I feel like this is specific to those of you that are going to be perhaps making some changes to where you work. Okay? And like a job change, let's just say. And maybe with that job change, you know, when we're kind of leaving one job and moving into the next one, of course, there could be a little bit of a lapse with getting paid, right? Because sometimes we could be leaving at the end of a pay period, and then when we start the new job, we could be right in the middle of their pay period, and then we might have a little bit of a delay before you get your first paycheck, right? So if you are specifically going to be doing something like that, of course, there's things that you can do on your side to prepare for that, right? Saving a little bit of extra money to kind of prepare for a little bit of that delay. And it could, right, create a little bit of financial stress or strain. And it could make you feel like stressed out, you know? And it could be helpful for those of you that do have friends that could help you out. I mean, it may not even necessarily be financially, but it could be there for you to help to alleviate maybe some of the pressure or stress, maybe them taking care of something for you, or maybe it is and could be about money, you know, or letting you stay at their place. You know, could be something like that as you're kind of transitioning. Others of you, if you are having like challenges at work, okay, challenges at work with coworkers, people that you collaborate with, this could also be a time, especially if you own your own business too. 3 of Pentacles is about collaborating. Could also be about marketing. So if you're trying to get a business off the ground, or you're someone who's trying to be more secure financially, this could be a time for you to start networking, start showcasing your talents, your skills, showing your work off to others, with maybe people that you've worked with in the past. Maybe you're going to tell them, hey, I have this new product, I have this new service that I'm offering. You know, so we have this new energy here is the important thing. We're asking what energy is opening up for you now. We've got the Fool, okay, which is new beginnings, new opportunities, exploring. And that might require you to take a step in a new direction. It could mean engaging with other people, networking, marketing, collaborating in some way. It could even be the support of friends, you know, that help you through that process. If you're going to be making some kind of change in your life and you're all stressed out and you need somebody to talk to, surrounding yourself with people, you know, telling them what's on your mind and what you feel and think, and then letting them be able to kind of give you advice with that. Okay, I want to look at these downloads here. It says, look out for messages and signs from Spirit. Sit quietly and receive the answers. What are you going to be receiving here? It might be none of my business, but I'm going to try. Okay. Actually, let me use a different deck. Five of Swords, Queen of Cups. Look out for messages and signs from Spirit. Sit quietly and receive the answers. And we've got the Five of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Those of you that have a tendency to self-sabotage, okay? I feel like these messages and downloads that are coming from Spirit are ones that are trying to be very loving and very supportive so that you are able to move past that way of thinking. In a way, these messages are going to come through as very loving, okay? Very loving, supportive, grounded. It may also be very firm, especially with the Emperor being here. Okay? So if you have any kind of messages that are, you know, speaking negative, that is not your spirit team. Okay? It's not going to be mean to you and awful and horrible and, you know, come from fear. It's going to be stable, loving, supportive. This is going to be about feeling, because the Empress, not the Empress, the Queen of Cups is here, which is your feeling, your intuition. Okay? And it may even be something that's helping you to tap into and channel into your masculine energy to help you to stay disciplined, focused, organized, to come up with some kind of a plan, some kind of a strategy. You want to filter out the negativity, okay? The self-limiting beliefs. So this is about feeling. It's going to give you that guidance that you need, that direction. Okay, and then you've got the Queen of Wands here and Seven of Pentacles. It's also going to be a need. I mean, it could be a message that comes through that for you that tells you to be patient. Just because you don't see results just yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Okay, remain confident. Be in your power. So it feels like it's going to be very supportive messages coming in, downloads from your spirit team. Okay, so I'm going to ask Spirit here. Anything else? Anything else? Yeah, we've got open to infinite possibility, which is that Fool energy, blank slate. Time to heal. Now is a lucky time. And let Spirit be your guide. We've got be loyal to what you love, and transformation is beautiful. So I want to ask Spirit here, how can you best work with this energy? And I feel like more or less, because you started off with the Fool, it's being open, but it's also observing, it's paying attention, using discernment. How can you best work with this energy? Four of Cups. Well, pay attention, for one thing. The Four of Cups can be distractions sometimes. There's a Fool again. And there's the Nine of Wands. And understand, you know, that if you've... Try not to, you know, put yourself in that mood or let that mood just kind of suck you in. This is like feeling sorry for yourself. Feeling discouraged and unsatisfied, and you know, that there's, and also dwelling on things from the past. Try not to do that, you know. Try to work on maybe some of you resting. Rest a little bit. Take a rest, take a break. The Hierophant in reverse can also be you looking at certain belief systems if they're no longer serving you. You know, maybe being open to looking at things outside the box. Because the Hierophant in reverse is more unconventional, non-traditional. So maybe we don't have to do things the way that we've always done them. Maybe we're just completely open to seeing things in a new way, doing things in a new way, outside the box, which is in a way removing limitations. You know, maybe shooting for the stars, beyond your wildest dreams, outside of your comfort zone to kind of make things happen here. Okay? All right, so I'm going to leave this here for you, group 2. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, group 3. So those of you that resonate with the Opalite and the Crown Games card, this is going to be your reading. So quite an interesting card here, Crown Games with the right use of power. So we're looking at what energy is opening up for you now, and then we're going to go in and also ask how can you best work with this. That may kind of come through naturally on its own, but we'll try to cover that. So this card is about leadership, accountability, responsibility, and being able to use that power in the right way. Okay? Because we don't certainly want a misuse of power. Okay? So let's pull some oracle here. So what energy is opening up for you? Now this could be about, you know, a part of yourself that is coming into, right, this very empowered place. It may even signify movement into a position of power. Okay, maybe like if that has to do with your job or a business, something of that nature. Let's see. What energy is opening up for you now, group number 3? Wow, look at that, strong power. It says you tap into reserves you didn't know you had, and they help you get to the next level. I love that. We have the Wheel of Fate. You are taking risks that could pay off, but know that there is success even in failure. We have community. You need the company of your friends, coven, or tribe now. We have New World. Look at that door opening. It says there's a whole lot of fresh opportunities awaiting you if you just take a chance. Quiet retreat. You need time alone to restore your energy and health now. And then we have high tides. You may be feeling swamped, but the shore is within sight. Just keep swimming along. Like Dory. Okay, so let's pull the tarot. What energy is opening up for you now? 8 of Pentacles. High Priestess. Page of Swords. The Devil. Yes, I agree. Temperance, because the Devil being here, you know, could be a beautiful thing, and I'm kind of taking it that way for this reading, because this is Saturn, and this is about discipline, structure. You know, I mean, the Devil is about power, you know, So with temperance, it's about tempering that energy. So we don't want to, I mean, like I said, I see the devil in this case in a good way, but we can, again, very easily, right, move into control in a way that could be looked at as not the greatest, dominating, where there would be more or less that misuse of power. So I like that we have temperance here too, to kind of temper the energy, because the devil does have to do with the physical world, the material realm. And sometimes we could, right, overdo it, meaning that we obsess about work, which, you know, healthy amount of that could be okay, but we want to kind of temper it a little, you know? So it could be a really beautiful thing in that we have the drive and the power and the desire for success, you know? So let's keep going here. We don't want to use it in a way where we are, you know, controlling others, putting others down, belittling, treating other people like they're less than. It may also be speaking up and finding your own voice if there's other people that are doing that to you, you know? Because the devil has a lot to do with the ego, right? And sometimes when people get into a position of power, they don't know what to do with it, right? They use it to dominate, they use it to control, they use it to manipulate. Now we can do that, right, in a way where there's a healthy balance there, right? To control the outcome of something and make moves that are smart, especially as it relates to like business decisions. Page of Swords is also about studying, it's about observing. So kind of really using this energy to your advantage, okay? Temperance is also about being patient. So it could be knowing when to make a move, knowing when to act, studying something, observing something, knowing ways in which is the right time to invest or to act upon something, knowing when to pause, right? So that we're using those strengths to the best of our ability. Listening to your intuition, being ready to you know, jump on something. The Fool energy is about taking a leap of faith. So Eight of Pentacles is also discipline, hard work, commitment, effort. You know, the devil, like I said, we can use it in a positive way, in that we don't let that power go to our head, where we also have our fears under control in a good way. We can make moves, make changes the way that we need to, so that we are able to get the outcome that we want. And for many of you, like I said, this could be quite powerful. You've got, you know, the High Priestess here as well, which is about using your intuition. So, and there's the Ace of Pentacles. So this could even be like a new stream of income. You know, maybe your your powers of manifestation. I feel like I want to look at this devil a little bit. Yeah. Yes. Moon in reverse. The World. What is one of these cards is talking about? Yeah, it says you are taking risks that could pay off, but know that there is success even in failure. Because the devil energy could also be about fear, limiting beliefs, and it can restrict us and limit us sometimes, right? The Chariot is freedom. It's about momentum, building momentum, moving forward, having the willpower, the drive, kind of like that eye on the prize. And this could be you know, even a time to shed light upon the insecurities, the fears, the limiting beliefs that you have, and bringing an end to those. No longer letting that, this devil energy and whatever that means for you, have a power over you. This is where you call back your power, right? So in a way, maybe some of you are going through this right now with this strong power here where you are not letting your fears hold you back. You're not letting your insecurities hold you back. This is tempering this energy, healing it, transmuting it, doing what you need to do to see the results that you want, the success that you want, the abundance that you want, right? Again, we can use this devil energy in a, excuse me, a very powerful way. Okay. So I'm going to look at that Ace of Pentacles a little bit. Queen of Wands. Five of Cups. Yeah, it's like Spirit is kind of wanting you to say, okay, maybe in the past there's been some disappointments. Maybe certain things didn't work out, there, you know, in the way that you wanted them to. But this is about you remaining confident. You know, the Six of Wands is about victory. It's about success. It's also about being seen, being in the spotlight. So, you know, maybe even putting yourself out there, overcoming your fears of being in the public eye, maybe for some of you. Maybe some of you want to work with a community, a group of people, or to be a part of a community, but you're too shy of putting yourself out there. And right now it says you need the company of your friends, coven, or tribe now. Okay? I want to see why this is important for you. Queen of Swords. This could be sharing your story, using your voice, sharing your wisdom, your knowledge, maybe teaching for some of you. Okay? It could also be advice that people give to you. It'll give you a change of perspective. Maybe it'll open you to new perspectives that you're not seeing right now. It could also be something where if you interact with community, it could present you with new opportunities that you hadn't even considered. Why is this High Priestess here? Three of Wands in reverse. Page of Wands. Wheel of Fortune reverse. Five of Wands. Yeah. Some of you, there could have been like a resistance to change. It could also be observing like old patterns, old cycles that you have kept repeating. A lot. I feel like for many of this is calling back your power here. Reclaiming your power. Making change, positive change in your life, to have an awareness of those old patterns that you keep repeating, because the Wheel of Fortune's in reverse here. You know, or even life situations that may have been outside of your control. You know, because we all go through things, you know, we all have ups and downs in life. And sometimes those things can present challenges for us. It can make us feel, you know, down about what we're experiencing. But it feels like, in a way, this is the time for you to call back your power, reclaim your power, and to use your power in a very powerful way, you know, to help you to create the life that you want, the success that you want, the freedom to be able to, you know, do what you want to do. It could be a time for reassessing, reevaluating, focused intention, passion, motivation, drive, which maybe for some of you has been missing for a little while, right? So you feel like all of this energy kind of building inside of you. Let's work with it. Let's work with it. So let's see what else here. Learn from the past, right? That's where the failure message is important, because even in failure, there's still something that we can gain from that. we learn what worked, what didn't, what could we do differently, so that when we get up and try again, we can approach it in a different way, right? Learn from the past. Nothing is wasted, exactly. Some of you might feel like, oh my goodness, I just wasted all my time. No, you didn't. Because you've learned something, you've gained something. Wisdom, knowledge, healing, whatever it might be, there's always a silver lining. There's always a different way we can look at something, an experience that we've had. Okay. It says this and that are true. Life is speeding up. And we have magic works through you with the scarab beetle spirit. Spirit has a plan. Okay. What is this about this and that are true? Justice. Well, I mean, with justice, we're making choices. We're making decisions, you know. And with the choices that we make, it can, you know, there's going to be consequences, whether they're good or bad, or what we see as good or bad, positive, negative. But we learn, right? Justice is connected to karma. And it's understanding sometimes that where we're at in certain times in our life, sometimes it is a result of certain choices that we made, and now we're dealing with consequences of that, right? Yeah, so I feel like it's important. It's always important to kind of weigh your options and say, okay, what could be, you know, because in a way, looking at it from a, you know, universal law, there is, in a way, no such thing as good or bad. Everything's neutral. It's the meaning that we give to it where we're like, oh, I'm going through this awful thing, this horrible thing, you know, but nothing is inherently good or bad. It's all neutral, and we're the one who kind of gives that meaning to it. So of course there's always, you know, choices that we make, and sometimes there's some choices that are better than others, that can take us in two different directions, right? But now I feel like in a way you have the power to choose now what you're going to do with your power, and where you're going to direct your intention, your focus, and your purpose. Okay, so let's ask Spirit here. Last question is we're going to ask, how can you best work with this energy? Six of Pentacles. This could be for some of you helping others. Being open to receiving help could also be another thing. Or if you've been someone who's, you know, been receiving, this could be your time to now give back in some way to create karmic balance. Okay. Four of Pentacles. You want also, if this is having to do with money, you want to make sure you're watching out for greed. Okay, because the devil can also be greed. Four of Pentacles can also be greed. So if you have, you know, money to share or time to share, energy to share, this could be a time to create good karma in a way. Okay. For many of you, it could also be a time for you to allow yourself to receive at this time too, especially if you've been in the past where you've been giving. Now it's your turn. Open yourself up to receive it. Put yourself in situations for you to receive. Okay, and maybe that means for some of you making some changes to your life. Like if you say, okay, I'm at this job that limits my abundance and I want to have more abundance. Okay, let's look for a new job. Let's put ourselves out there. Let's network. Let's explore other opportunities to put yourself in that position to receive. Okay, Wheel of Fortune is also about going with the flow and also being open to change, right? The Wheel of Fortune basically tells us that, you know, there are certain things that are outside of our control. Change is inevitable, right? Which also reminds me of like the law of impermanence. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave it here for you. Group 3, I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.